of the Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. I'm Sean.
I'm Ian, and this is the only podcast that stinks. That says,
You stole the goddamn cloaking device from my bird of prey?
ooh,
Yeah. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little sleepy, but I'm all right.
Noise.
Windy out there.
It is very windy today.
Santa Ana winds or some shit.
Yeah. Wind coming off the lake.
Oh, man.
As Booby once said.
It is really windy, though.
It is. It's horrific.
I notice the wind more here. Like, down low, you don't notice it so much. But when you get to the high points of Pennsylvania, or when you cross the rivers, and the wind's whipping through the valley,
yeah.
or like you get up by the county airport.
Oh, yeah, up there, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
The higher you get, the worse it gets. And I'm like, damn, this is crazy town right here.
It was shaking my house today. Honestly, it was the house was shaking.
That wasn't the wind.
Yeah. So yeah, crazy. I mean, it was like there was that rainstorm,
Yeah.
and when that let go, it was just like blowing like 50 miles an hour.
I know.
Like, what the fuck?
It was crazy, man.
So
Anyway.
What have you been up to?
Nothing.
No.
Man, I'm trying to think if I even watched anything this week. I swear to God, I watched a bunch of shit. I need to start texting myself or something.
Yeah.
I didn't. When did Picard come out?
Well, that comes out Thursday. Manda's Wednesday and Picard is Thursday.
I didn't watch either.
Wow.
I've been pretty busy.
You've been pretty busy.
I got into something the other night. Oh, I watched. What's the movie with Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis?
Oh, True Lies.
All right, so I watched True Lies. I like that show a lot. I do. I don't know why.
It's a great movie.
But the TV show is really.
Oh, there's a TV show?
Yeah.
I did not know that. What's it on?
I don't know.
Okay.
I want to say Prime,
I'll have to look it up.
but it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It sort of goes down like similar to cross between CSI and freaking Criminal Minds. It's sort of like in that vein.
Right.
So yeah, that's a good show. I like it.
Yeah. I get a little bit of the headache. It's not helping.
You're naked.
Yeah. I know.
I watched that. Oh, I got way deep into Vikings Valhalla. That's what I watched.
Okay.
Way deep.
Okay.
And it's really fucking good.
Yeah.
It just gets better and better. I like the show.
Yeah.
It's great. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I was binging when I should have been watching other things. It was Vikings Valhalla. I just went episode after episode after episode.
Yeah, I get that.
Like, I just couldn't stop myself.
Yeah.
That's really it. Was Picard good this week?
Oh, it's very good.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah.
How about Mando? Is it good?
It's interesting.
Okay.
It's very interesting. You'll enjoy. I mean, it's a good episode. It's a little bit of a filler episode, but it's a good episode.
Filler. I mean,
well, I mean, like the main storyline is very fillerish,
yeah.
but outside of the main storyline, like there's some B plot stuff that's happening with Grogu that's very
really?
enlightening.
Okay.
And Picard's just fantastic.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good episode. And, I mean, it's there's a few really good moments, but there's like one really good moment between Jack and Seven.
Okay.
And it involves I don't want to give it's just a very good episode. You'll enjoy it.
Okay.
You'll enjoy it. I watched a new show on Netflix called The Night Agent.
The Night Agent.
Yes.
Okay.
Basis of the story is the main character. He's at the beginning of the show. He's on the subway.
Okay.
In DC, and he sees a guy leave something behind very suspiciously, and he goes and checks out, and it's a bomb.
Okay.
And he saves a bunch of people.
Okay.
So 1 year later, he's working at this. It's called the Night. I think it's called the Night Watch. I can't remember. But all he does is he sits in a room and he waits for a phone to ring. And it's like these counterintelligence agents. It's like this is the number they call if they're in trouble.
Okay.
And like the phone never rings. It rings this one day, and and that's what propels the story. And it's interesting. Like if you like Reacher, if you like Jack Ryan, if you like stuff like that in that vein, this is in that vein. But like the plot gets a little bit like, oh, this is a little too wacky. Like I enjoyed the hell out of the show.
Yeah.
But like even at some point I'm like, oh, this is a little too convoluted. But I'm going along with it because I'm enjoying the show.
Right.
So if you're into Reacher, if you're into Jack Ryan, if you're into stuff like that in that vein,
sure,
then I would recommend watching this. It's done very, very well. The action sequences are good. I think 10 episodes was maybe a little too long. Like maybe it could have been cut down to 8.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a good show.
Okay.
So I would highly recommend it if you're into stuff like that.
Right.
But outside of that, I finished Voltron finally.
Okay.
That was it's held up. It's still very, very good.
Okay.
And
did you watch the Chris Rock special yet?
No, I haven't. I was going to, and it slipped my mind. You know what I mean?
You could open up a beer, watch the Rock special.
Yeah. When was the last time I opened up a beer?
I don't know. A long time ago.
Long time ago, yeah. So.
Yeah, so what else? Tell me more.
That's that Picard, Mando, Ted Lasso. I watched the first 2 episodes of that.
Okay.
It's, right there where it's supposed. I mean, it's Ted Lasso.
Is this going to be the final season?
Yeah. Yeah, they announced it as the final season.
Is it time?
Well, I mean, it's only the 3rd season, but like, I feel like it's like one of those shows, like, the way it's been structured, it makes sense that this would be the end.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if they could probably do more seasons, but I feel like it would just be like, we're just doing it to do it.
Right.
I feel like the writers, Jason Sudeikis, like they had a plan all along to do 3 seasons. This is the story they want to tell, and they're reaching the end of it.
Like this is their arc.
Yeah.
Okay.
So. But other than that, that's it.
Yeah, I haven't. Like I said, I've been working so much that I just.
Yeah. I would say, I'll say this. I did watch, and I highly recommend it. Only, like, this is a pro wrestling thing. If you are into like high-flying, hard-hitting professional wrestling, there was a match on AEW Dynamite this week between Kenny Omega and I can't remember his name, but he's Vikingo. He's basically like a Mexican Viking. But there was shit done in this match. I can't figure out how the laws of physics were defied.
Okay.
Like, I know. I can hear Stork out there already. It's a fake! You're right. Pro wrestling is quote-unquote fake. But yet, there were maneuvers that were being performed that I don't understand how somebody's neck wasn't broken. You know what I mean? Like, there's a poison Rana off the top rope that I'm just like, how the fuck was that pulled off? Because the way it looked like the guy hit, and I know he didn't, but it looked. I mean, somebody's neck should have been compressed. You know, I mean,
right.
It's shit like that you're just like, hold. And even then, like, there was a moment where like a guy does he runs across the ring, comes back, uses the middle rope to springboard, and does a 630 senton and puts the guy through a table. Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you physically levitate long enough to do a 630 and land on somebody?
Yeah.
You know, like, it's shit like that. It's impressive. It's an extraordinarily impressive match. It's one of the best matches I've ever seen as far as, like, the shit that was done.
Yeah.
You know? So, I'd highly recommend checking that out if you have an opportunity. If you're into that.
Right.
So that's it for me. Like, that's all I really watched.
That's a lot.
Yeah, well, I had a couple days off extra this week.
Okay.
So I got to jam a little extra in.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, like I thought that Night Agent was a movie, not a TV show.
Oh, okay.
I was planning on watching Poker Face this weekend.
Okay.
That threw me off. So I want to get Poker Face in, too. That looked really good.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So.
What you got?
All right, so we're going to keep it local first.
Nice.
So last year, as we know, there was a string of violence at Kennywood Park.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I heard about this one.
Yeah. For those who don't know, and you're unfamiliar, Kennywood Park is a local amusement park in the Pittsburgh area. It is a national icon, if you will. I mean, it's been around for 125 years. Some of the rides are about 125 years old. Like, I don't know. The carousel is like,
yeah,
like, that's the oldest carousel in the country or some shit.
Yeah.
So, after a string of violence last year, apparently the Allegheny County District Attorney said he believes Kennywood Park is unsafe following a shooting in September. He told Channel 11 his office compiled a list of security demands at the end of November and told the park to have them complete by opening day. Some of them are not complete, and the park is just 1 month away from opening. Neither the park nor the DEA would go into detail about what still needs to be done. A Kennywood spokesperson released the following statement when Channel 11 questioned the lack of completion. The safety and security of our guests and the team members are always our top priority. We are confident in our enhanced security procedures. We are looking forward to opening day on April 22nd and the 125th celebration. We fully support the investigation in any way possible. For questions regarding the investigation, contact law enforcement. So, like, I don't think it's just something that's like, I don't want to say this is, I don't think this is something that's necessarily like isolated to Kennywood Park. As far as like violence, as far as fights, as far as like,
yeah,
you know, I think we're seeing that in a lot of different places across the country.
Yeah, just not Kennywood.
Just not Kennywood. Yeah. However, Kennywood Park is an amusement park. It's not a theme park like Disney, but I mean, it is an amusement park where, thousands of people make their way there like daily.
Oh yeah.
This isn't like, I mean, it's small, but I mean,
it packs a punch.
It packs a punch. There's a lot of people in that, and
there's surprisingly a lot to do.
There is
in such a small area.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Like they utilize that land to the utmost.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's a big park, but it's nothing compared to.
It's small
Cedar
compared.
Point.
Right. It's very small compared to Cedar Point. Any Busch Gardens. Certainly Disney.
Sure.
It's probably the size of Epcot.
Maybe.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like but they, unlike Disney, it is an amusement park, so it doesn't have the attractions. It's rides.
Yeah.
Rides, food, and the occasional game.
Yeah.
So.
But it's a cool park, and it's very old.
Right.
And it's very shaded, so it makes it for like a nice summer.
Yeah.
You're never one of the biggest gripes I've heard about amusement parks, especially parts of Cedar Point too. Carowinds in North Carolina.
Right.
Even Disney World.
Right.
Is that it's so freaking hot in the summer because you're just on asphalt.
Yeah.
And Kennywood, you are on asphalt, but there's so many places to cool down.
There's a lot of trees.
Yeah, number one, there's a lot of trees. There's a lot of places with air conditioning.
Yeah.
There's water rides to take the edge off if you get into water rides. So, I mean, like, yes, it does get broiling, but there's always a place to cool down.
Right.
So, anyway.
Yeah, there are a lot of places you can go to cool off.
Yeah.
There are also a lot of places in that park, though, that are like, it's 1,000 degrees.
Mostly in New Kennywood.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Or Old Kennywood.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
Yeah. That addition they put on that side.
Yeah.
I think that's where it gets hottest.
Yeah.
But
So, but anyway, the violence aspect of it, like I find it interesting that the district attorney of Allegheny County is stepping in and saying, we need these security measures in place.
Yeah.
And Kenny was like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah. I mean,
like, I guess my question, like, it kind of is like, does the district attorney have the right to be able to say that?
yeah. I don't know the answer to that. I wouldn't think so.
I would think the answer is no, because the district attorney can't tell a private business how to operate itself.
Right.
But yet it is a public facility.
Yeah. But so is Monroeville Mall.
Right. And I don't think the district attorney stepped in with Monroeville Mall and said, hey, we need to cut this shit out, and these are the security measures you need to put in place.
Right. Or otherwise he can do that to every operational place in Pennsylvania or Allegheny County.
Right. I agree. So, but I wonder what they're saying has to be in place and what they're not doing.
Yeah. I mean, we know they have metal detectors.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like, it's a very interesting the dilemma of how much government oversight can come in.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not like this is a government-owned facility. This is a private-owned facility.
Right.
Like, if it was owned by Allegheny County, like if it was at, South Park or North Park or something like that, then you could say, yes, the DA would have all the right in the world to put down stipulations that have to be met.
Right.
But this is not, owned by the county. This is a privately owned piece of land.
Correct.
That's operated as an amusement park.
Right.
So outside of the regulations that you have for amusement park rides, I can't see where the county would have any.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
He's overstepping his bounds.
I think so too. But I do wonder, like how much, like, because there's that weird thing of like I know people who hate getting frisked going into a football game.
Okay.
You know, like it's a hassle to them.
Yeah.
But I understand it to an extent.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like they don't. They're like oh, this is well. I mean, first off, you're saying that because you're trying to take in 3 flasks. You know what I mean? Like you've basically filled your peg leg with with like 3 bottles of Jack.
Yeah.
You know? So
why does there have to be alcohol at a high school football game?
Yeah.
I don't even understand that.
No. I mean, they're only 2 fucking hours long.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't want to go there and get tanked for a...
No. No, but I mean, that's... But, like, only just a high school. I'm just talking, like, I want to go to a Steeler game, but them frisking me, man. That's my privacy. I'm like, you're going into their facility. They're allowed to lay down whatever law they want to.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know about Pirate games, but Steeler games, man. You can sneak shit in.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
truly.
Because it's so overwhelming, the number of people that are coming through. Like that check is like,
Yeah.
And you can sneak a little something in under your taint.
Yeah.
I get that. I'm just saying, like, I mean, there are people who are like, fuck them. They're going to do this to me. Well, I mean, it's security.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I understand it.
Yeah.
I also understand why they don't want you bringing in booze. They want you to buy it from them.
I don't know how much more security they can actually do unless they did pat downs.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of that can possibly... But you start doing pat downs, dude. That's like a whole nother realm.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, I mean...
What are we at the airport?
But every place... I mean, I'm not talking about a TSA pat down, but, like, I mean, even, like, going to a concert nowadays, like, you're going through a metal detector. Like, you go up to Star Lake, you're going through a metal detector. Here's my keys, here's my wallet.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
But I already thought they had that shit in place at Kennywood anyway.
I don't know if they do. It's been forever since I've been to Kennywood. So I don't know.
I can't remember.
I mean, last time I went to Kennywood, the twins were little girls.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure Thad will tell us all about it. I mean, I'm sure his next email will be all about how he gets thoroughly searched every time he goes to Kennywood.
Old plumb bob.
Yeah. Thad looks forward to the snap of the rubber glove.
Only do it in the bathroom behind the kangaroo.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to do it in that bathroom.
Yeah.
It's the must that gets me off.
I like the smell of the water from the old mill.
Yeah, that's awful. That's poo water.
That's poo water.
It is, dude. Come on. That stinks.
It does.
And it always has. That's poo water, man. That's like their septic tank.
It's like just they fill that thing up like once a year and just let that water flow the entire season.
Yeah.
Constantly in motion.
It's horrible.
Ugh.
That is definitely a smell from Kennywood.
Oh yeah. That's like a smell like you walk through that tunnel and you're like, I'm hit with like the smell of like popcorn and peanuts and water from the old mill.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
The old poo water.
The old poo water.
Smells are funny in Kennywood.
They are.
Like you go to certain spots and it has that smell.
Yeah.
the French fry factory.
Yeah.
Or where we go in.
Yeah.
And then you can smell the sweet shop.
Yeah.
And then even by the kangaroo, I know it's probably from that bathroom, but it has its own smell there.
Yeah.
Carousel does too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it has that. There are different smells in different parts of that park that I guess are just very familiar. Like where the log jammer used to be, you can smell the funnel cakes there.
Yeah.
I know it's all derivative around food,
Yeah.
but I mean, food and poo water, so I guess that makes sense. But
yeah.
in one in, out the other.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's just different areas of Kennywood that just have that. I don't know. It's a shame too because I really like the park at night. That's my favorite time to be at Kennywood.
Oh yeah.
Night.
Yeah.
It is. It's just, especially late in the year when it gets cold out.
Yeah.
A little bit colder.
Right. Yeah.
It's absolutely my favorite time of year.
Yeah.
And if I would go to Kennywood.
Right.
I mean, I don't mind going during the day and stuff, but man, night Kennywood is just
like,
something else.
When like the lights on the racer come on.
Yeah, and then you're on it.
Right, and then
like watching
the jackrabbit.
Oh, that's what I mean. The jackrabbit.
Yeah, the jackrabbit
on that hill, and you can see everything.
Yeah,
on that first.
Yeah, that first curve. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you're right there. It's such a great view of the park.
Yeah.
It's really geniusly designed.
Yeah, like the racer, like there's like certain things like the lights of the jackrabbit, and like that concourse that's like like the racer, and like all that stuff that's around it, like the games and everything.
Oh yeah, that whole
run.
Yeah,
and like on the other side you got like the Thunderbolt, which is another roller coaster, and like the lights coming off of it and the way it's lit. And like everything is kind of around that, and like that because that's like near like the French fry patch and everything. Like there's like certain areas like you just remember how it, like even like Noah's Ark.
Yeah,
like the way that's lit up.
But it's so neat because it's it triggers your memory too. Even the sounds,
right?
You hear Noah's Ark. You hear the whistle.
Yeah.
You hear the turtles.
Yeah.
You hear the whip. You hear the racer.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's all these audio sounds that you're hearing. Visually, of course, you see everything, but it's the audio and the olfactory.
Yeah.
The smelling of everything.
Even like the sound like the kangaroo. Boom. Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. Or even the whip.
Yeah.
Or hearing the people in the pirate ship when they get that high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's very familiar. I don't know. I like Kennywood. There was a time where I hated it. But we were so overloaded with it as kids.
Yeah.
I mean, we just went so much.
Right.
That it was insanity.
Yeah. I agree. Like, I mean, it became that thing of like when you got old enough, you were like, yeah, Kennywood sucks because I've been here 1,000 fucking times.
Yeah.
I'm done with it.
Yeah, you're just done with it.
And you want to go, like, you go to Cedar Point, you're like, Cedar Point's fucking awesome. It fucking blows away Kennywood, or,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then you kind of realize, like, man, as you get later in life, like man, Kennywood is something special.
It is. It's like, and people talk about, the Pittsburgh things, like the Permane sandwich and all this crap, but Kennywood's a real gem.
It is.
It's a park that has survived. You know what I mean?
Right. Survived and thrived.
Yeah.
And then, like, and I don't even say, like, despite location.
Yeah.
Like, it could never be more than it is. And it's funny that way because it's like I think of, like, Cedar Point and other places, and it's like, there's hotels and motels and all this stuff all around that, like, Cedar Point. And, like, Kennywood, like, I guess now you can kind of say there is because you go down to, like, the waterfront, there's a number of hotels down there. Like, before that, there was nothing. Like, it's not on a major high. I mean, it's on a major road, but it's not like on a major highway. Like, to get to Kennywood, like, you gotta go off the turnpike and go through Swissvale. You know what I mean? Like, it is not an easy place to get to. And so because of that, you'd think, like, man, that would be the downfall of it. And it thrives because people are willing to go out of their way.
Right. And I think it thrives on school picnics.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that's what keeps it busy. That's what keeps it.
But all year long, like, you look at that place in the middle of summer, I mean, it's packed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, school picnics end, like, at, beginning of June.
Yeah.
June, July, and August, that place is packed.
Yeah. And, like, I mean, the only thing they can do, seriously, the only thing Kennywood can possibly do to really expand is the parking lots and everything. The McDonald's. Yeah. I mean, that whole area up to the old mini mall up there.
Yeah.
Pretty much taking out that whole area. They would be able to expand if they wanted to invest billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And they don't. I think they're quite happy with what they have. I don't see how they can expand.
Well, I mean, like, would McDonald's really sell that land?
Yeah, I know.
Like, would Popeyes sell that land? Like, well, all those businesses, like, with the exception, like, where the old Kmart was and probably where the old Hills was, I mean, I can't imagine, like, those businesses doing phenomenal. But, like,
I mean,
especially,
but they have...
Especially in season, like, that McDonald's is banging. Popeyes is banging. I mean, when I was a kid, there was a Ponderosa there that was jam-packed with people.
I don't know if that's true anymore. I don't know if you can leave the park now. We'll have to ask that.
Yeah.
I don't think you can leave the park and come back in.
Yeah.
Because we always...
Yeah, I mean, that was what you did. You didn't eat in Kennywood.
No, hell no.
You went...
You went to McDonald's.
Yeah, because it was cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
And...
I mean, it was like... I'm talking like even back when we were kids.
Yeah.
It was
like
hell of a lot cheaper.
My parents were like, "You're not getting a drink. You're not getting a slushie. No, you're gonna drink that shitty fountain water." Yeah.
The mushroom.
You're going over to the mushroom and getting that well water.
That was Vaughn water when we were little.
Yeah.
There wasn't any filtration on that shit.
No, not at all. I still don't think there is.
The mushroom. Ugh. The mushroom water.
Yeah, like, I'd be like, "Daddy, I'm thirsty." Well, let's go over to the mushroom.
I made them drink out of it, remember?
Yeah.
The mushroom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That water was cold, though. I do know that.
I remember when I was a kid, I used to love my favorite drink at Kennywood was the fucking right by the Monongahela Monster and the carousel.
Uh-huh.
They had this gigantic carts and they put the ones that were cherry and lemon and raspberry and blueberry.
Grape. Yeah. Like, you got a grape drink, and it was like in the shape of the... Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Those were the fucking best.
They were.
Oh.
Like, that's what my parents would fork out money for. Would be like that. And that shit had to last me all fucking day. And when it didn't, they were like taking me back to the mushroom, and I was filling it up with water. You know what I mean? Like the water. Yeah. You drink all your grape drink? Yeah, I did, Daddy. Well, let's go back to the mushroom.
Yeah.
No, not the mushroom, Daddy.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Well, we used to go twice a year.
Well, I went once a year.
Nah.
I didn't go on school picnics.
Oh, you didn't?
No. My parents were like, yeah, you're going when our grandparents are paying for it. Like, it's like school picnic day. Worst day of the fucking year for me. Because it was off school and none of my friends were around.
Wow.
It's like I play with Tracy. Which is like the worst.
Yeah.
School picnic days sucked when I was a kid.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. We were in opposite schools.
Right.
It sucked.
Yeah.
There were some bad things about that. I wish we were in the same school.
Yeah.
It sucked being not in high school with you.
Yeah.
My whole family.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like the rest of us all went to South Allegheny.
You guys
were
went to
fucking-
South Allegheny, upper tier.
Yeah, upper crust.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's me
Yeah.
fighting my way home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I mean, it's like, it was like that odd thing of like,
I mean, I was okay when I was in a band, so I mean,
Yeah.
I was pretty. I had a good.
but it was just that odd
Thad
thing.
and I both had a good high school
Yeah.
in band. I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We enjoyed band.
But it was one of those things where it was odd. Like the rest of us all went to South Allegheny, and you were like the outcast in McKeesport.
Oh, I know. I was. I really was.
Yeah.
I made a couple really good friends though.
Yeah.
It became your friends as well.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, what was also interesting, like I was the oldest. Like I never saw Tracy or Becky. They're the same age. And then like my senior year was like I think Jane was in 8th grade. Like like she was still in the junior high. Like I never saw Jane. I didn't even know she was fucking there.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So like I'd see Becky or Tracy in the hall, but like I mean, even then, like all three of us were going in such different directions, even at that time.
Right.
Yeah,
it was just weird for me because I didn't have any family in school.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was like I had a tough time more in elementary and middle than I did in
Yeah.
high school. But
Yeah.
elementary was like, I mean, it wasn't horrific.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But you gotta think. I had a southern accent, number one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. That awful Southern accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had this southern accent coming in. This is my first year of elementary school,
Yeah.
right? It was hard for me to adapt
I'm sure. Oh, I can't even imagine.
because I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know other parents. Like, they grew up in the neighborhood, right? So
Right.
I mean, like they knew.
Yeah.
Thank God, Doug was there.
Yeah.
But seriously.
Yeah. Oh, I get that. Yeah.
But I latched onto him pretty quickly. But it was tough. I mean,
Yeah.
I ran out of that school a couple times. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
I fucking booked
Yeah. You
it
mentioned.
home.
Yeah.
Booked it home.
Yeah.
Crying my eyes out all the way there.
Like I had that weird advantage, like playing. Like I played Little League football.
Yeah.
So like when I got like so in like grade school, it was like all the people I knew who were in the neighborhood around me, and then when I went to high school, which was like supposed to be like this like awful transition, like for me it was kind of easy because I played football with all these people.
Yeah.
Like I knew them, I knew their brothers, I knew their sisters. Like it's like that was like the easy part was like, oh, I know everybody already. It's not a problem.
Uh-huh.
And the people I don't know,
Fuck 'em.
fuck them. I don't care.
Yeah.
And like I'll never forget like I'm 7th grade, like I'm in gym, and this is like the first time it's like you're amongst these people in like a very awkward setting,
Yeah.
and I was big. Like in 7th grade, I was like 5'8" or 5'9" at that point, and I just come walking out of the locker room, and this kid just kind of looks at me and goes, "Please don't beat me up." I'm like, "Why would I do that?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, the thought never crossed my mind, buddy. But we're cool. Thank you. Yeah, no problem.
Go get my pets.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like this odd, like, it was like this odd thing of, like, I guess I had that advantage of just like, yeah, these people know me. They know what I'm capable of.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a weird transition for us because it was, I went to GW.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, GW was really good.
Yeah.
I actually ended up really enjoying elementary school.
Yeah.
I did. It was just that
After you stop people calling people y'all.
Yeah. It's
How
the
y'all
first
doing
month
today?
was bad. It was. And that first month was horrible. And when I went to middle, it was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
now I'm meeting kids from, like, GW was so isolated.
Yeah.
There was just people in the area.
Yeah.
That was the nice thing about schools back then.
Right. That was the same thing with me. Like, I went to Portview Elementary.
Yeah.
Which was like just Portview.
Yeah.
A few kids from Liberty Borough. And it was like, okay, we're all cool.
Yeah.
We're all growing up in the same neighborhoods and shit. Like,
Yeah.
all right, no problem. And when you get to high school, like, everybody else kind of struggled with that transition. It was easy for me because I played football with a lot of these guys. That's no problem. And then you learn the secret language. Like that secret language of nerd. Like, you drop a Star Wars quote. Right. And somebody's like, one of us. And now all of a sudden the nerds who didn't play football, they're hanging out with me.
Yeah.
We're playing Dungeons and Dragons together. We're going to the mall together. Those were my people. Like, I played football with these guys, but I didn't hang out with them. I hung out with the nerds.
Right.
And that was like, I learned that, like, you just like I kind of quickly got like, oh, he's a jock. Okay. Well, no, he's not. He just quoted Gremlins.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay. Yeah, you're cool. Okay, come over here.
See, when I went to middle, it was different because I was so used to the GW crew.
Yeah.
And the friends I made on the GW crew.
Right.
Yeah. And my best friend was freaking a year younger than me.
Yeah.
But we still walked to school and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, Doug and I hung out every single day of our lives.
Yeah.
Except for the summers. But then I got to middle, and of course I still saw Doug. And I got involved in band.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was tough because, now you're meeting kids from Grandview and, it was everybody was bringing in from that area to the middle, to Cornell.
Right.
And, but I met G in Cornell in like 5th grade. Met my buddy Scott, Josh. And so we hung out there.
Right.
And so, but then the transition, and I don't know. Then when you went to the high school, and then you get the White Oaks.
Yeah.
And there was always that rivalry between White Oak and McKeesport.
Yeah.
Because, White Oaks were...
The Socias. That's where the money was.
Yeah. And McKeesport,
Yeah.
Struggle bus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everyone from McKeesport was on the struggle bus.
Oh, yeah.
Whether you were wealthy in McKeesport or not, you were
Yeah.
still on the struggle bus. I mean, that's just the way it was.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. It's funny, I don't know. You said you went to the nerds.
Yeah.
I don't know who I hung out with so many different people.
Yeah.
That I was kind of like, I don't know. I pimped myself out to a lot of people.
Yeah. Like
I hung out with skaters. I hung out with metalheads.
Yeah.
I hung out with jocks.
Yeah.
I hung out with the nerds.
Right.
I mean, I kind of hung out with everybody. I don't know. It was very strange.
Like, I was respected in all areas.
Yeah.
Like, it was like that weird thing of, like, I didn't hang out with the football players. Like, we just didn't hang out. Like, I don't know why. Like, I just didn't vibe with those people. I think it was the nerd in me that was like, they were like, well, we're going to go, they were partying, they were doing this, and I was spending my Friday nights playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, there was that aspect of it when I wasn't playing football. So, like, I didn't hang out with those people. But, like, the stoners and the metalheads liked me because they knew who my parents were.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, you're Chuck Kidd's boy, huh? We don't talk about that. You know.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But like they
say something, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, but they liked me. Like, like they were cool with me. And also, like, I was listening to,
right,
Metallica. Like, I could have a conversation with them. Like,
right.
I could, oh yeah, puppets was so fucking cool. Like, I could talk to them. So, like, I had that going for me with those people. Like, the only, even like the upper crust people, like, I got along with enough. Like, I had 2 or 3 of their respect. Like, it was like, yeah, Coon's a cool guy. I don't mess with him. I chat with him. He's on the football team. He's all right.
Yeah.
So at that point, like, they didn't mess with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the few that I did like this one guy, Joey Knapp, like, we fucking talked comics.
Yeah.
Like, we were talking, like, comedians at that time. Like, we were talking, like, did you see Eddie Murphy? Did you see fucking, Dice? Like,
yeah.
he loved stand-up comedy, and so did I. So because of that, we had a connection, and now all of a sudden I have an in, like, where these people are like, yeah, we don't party with him, and he's not one of us, but, we're okay with him.
Right.
But, like, weirdly, though, like, I couldn't connect with a female to save my life. You know what I mean? Like, no fucking clue.
Yeah.
Like, none of them.
Nice.
Then I know, like, I mean, years later, looking back, I'm like, well, I think she had a thing for me, but, she never said anything. I know this girl had a thing for me because she told me later on, and I was too stupid to fucking realize it. And this girl, like, years later, there's like 3 or 4, I'm like, well, boy, I was just fucking stupid.
And amongst all this, all these transitions, and we were still hanging out all the time.
Right.
I don't know how he managed that.
I think it's just because we were brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we've discussed it 100 times in this show, but, like, at the end of the day, like, while we're technically second cousins, we were raised like brothers.
Yeah, we were.
You know what I mean? So, like, whatever way you were going, even though it was different from the way I was going, we were still.
It's weird, right? And so when a lot of times in life when that happens, people just go their separate ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They do. I mean, they just kind of go their separate ways. I mean, you're going this path, and I'm going this path, and
right.
That's it. You know? But that never happened to us.
No.
I mean, I'm sure. Well, there were also circumstances that we didn't control either. Like my mom. Like I spent the night. I mean, how many years did I? How many years was that?
Like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at your house. What? Almost every night.
4 nights a week.
Yeah.
Like it was like 4 nights a week. Because I think it was like Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. And then Saturdays at Grandma's. Sunday for church.
And then Mom took us to movies.
Yeah. So
on
like,
Sundays.
Yeah. So it was like, Yeah, so, but like you spent the night at my house like 4 nights a week.
But that went on for years.
Yeah.
And then like the Sunday double features went on forever.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except for football season.
Yeah.
But after football season was done,
yeah, We're right back to it.
It was right back to it.
Yeah. And that went on until we were 14 or 15.
Right. That's crazy.
It is. And then and after we both got out of high school, we started drinking in the same places.
I know.
You know. The best, though, the absolute best is the fact that you were at that fucking EA Prom.
Yeah.
I mean,
We were ready to go, boy.
Oh.
We were.
we were.
I was amped, dude.
Oh, I know you
fucking
were.
Hated it there.
Oh, you were coming on. Is there a problem here, gentlemen?
Yeah, dude. I was ready, dude.
Yeah.
Fighting on the boat. And, right? In the hotel.
That was
the hotel.
at the Radisson in Monroeville. Yeah.
I was ready to go at the Radisson. I do remember because I remember the bar.
Yeah. That was... I mean, that was like the best. Like because I had no clue you were there.
Right.
None. And like, you show up and you're just like, is there a problem here? I'm like, oh shit. I'm not getting my ass beat by myself.
Yeah, right?
Because I was ready to go, and then, my cousin's here.
Yeah. Oh, we got that. That was as I remember, that was a worrisome prom.
It was.
Because we were always looking over our shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah, I got motherfucked a lot at that prom.
Oh, I know.
Like, I'm out on the dance floor getting, like, stink eye from everybody.
As I remember, I felt very powerful at that prom. I did.
Yeah.
At that time, I was like 170 pounds.
All hair.
All hair. I was fucking ready to go.
Yeah.
As I remember. I remember that.
Yeah.
I was...
And then, like...
that was the closest thing I ever came... It was like... I think in my head it was like this Footloose scenario.
It was... For those who don't know, if you've never heard the story, let me tell the story. So, this is, like, my girlfriend at the time, and this was, like, 1990. She went to East Allegheny High School. And it had been announced, like, a couple weeks beforehand, like, the football schedules for the next season.
Yeah.
South Allegheny versus East Allegheny. At South Allegheny. And Kim, being an unpopular person, bragged about me being a football player at South Allegheny. So, of course, when I show up at the prom with her, the entire football team is going to come over to me and talk shit to me.
Oh, yeah.
With the expectation I'm going to back down. And instead, I was so pissed off about that night already, I was ready to fucking go.
Yeah.
I get that. You want to run? Let's run. Okay. You know?
Yeah.
And like I'm in my head, I'm like, well, I'm gonna get thrown out of this prom. I'm gonna get my ass beat, but it is going to be worth it. You know? And then you like kind of step in going,
I soloed that shit.
yeah. You walked right up and you were literally like, is there a problem here, guys? And they're like, who the fuck are you? And I'm like, that's my cousin. And like that's when like the principal and like, you know, people start coming over like, is there a problem here, gentlemen? I'm like, oh no, sir, you know. And now, so like, I mean, we were ready to fight. Like it was going to go down. And it kind of gets broken up. And like the rest of the night I've got like teachers and principals like keeping an eye on me. And they're like, who the fuck are you with? I'm like, I'm here with Kim Scholler. And you're like, who the fuck are you with? Like, where did you two come from?
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, yeah, well.
I'm with Beth.
Yeah. So I go back over to Kim. And she's like, what the fuck was that all about? I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. And she's like, well, who was that behind you? I'm like, that's my cousin Ian. Like, she's like, did he come in a limo? I'm like, I don't know. Like, did you know he was coming? I'm like, no, I didn't.
Right.
I had no clue. Because she was mad because I took her to the prom in my 1979 Chevy Love Truck.
Love truck.
Powder blue Chevy Love Truck. Biggest piece of shit I've ever owned.
I I don't know if we went in a limo or not. I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Like, we could have taken a limo with him. Like, I don't fucking know.
No, I was ready to go. Though.
Oh, yeah. Like, when you stepped up, I was like, yeah. You know?
Brothers!
Yeah. Like, I have never gone from, like my mentality at that moment was literally, I'm going down, but I'm taking somebody with me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, somebody's coming down with me. I don't care who. And when you showed up, like, for some reason, I went from that mentality to, like, oh, we've got this.
Yeah, we could take them.
Like, I don't know why. There was, like, 8 of them.
I know.
You know?
We were so outnumbered.
We were.
We were in another school.
And the
prom. Yeah. Like, nobody would have jumped on our side.
No, at all.
No.
And, like, the fact that you stepped up. Like, I didn't even know you were there.
Right.
Like, no fucking clue that you were there. And the fact that you were, like, stepping up and were like, is there a problem here? And I'm like, I mean, I always held you in high regard, but you skyrocketed that night. I have done shit for you that, like, the only reason I've done it is because you had my back that night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was love involved. Like, oh, man, I got to take care of Ian tonight. I got 4 people in the front seat of this Ford Ranger with me, but I'll get them all home because that night at the prom, you didn't have my fucking back.
Right.
You know.
I did have your back. You're my brother.
Oh, yeah, I know, but it was just amazing. Like first off, that you were even fucking there to begin with, but the second part is like you saw what was going on and like had to say, "Excuse me, I got to handle this," you know, and had my back was just like so amazing at that moment. I was just like, all of a sudden, I went from like I'm taking somebody out with me to like, oh, all these motherfuckers are going down.
I know.
He's here with me.
And then we just became like target zero all night. It was like the worst prom I ever went to in my life. And I went to like 5 proms. That had to be the worst.
And it was all my fault.
It doesn't matter. No, we were good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You and I were good. Yeah. But it was just like the whole reason it was a sour prom for you is because of me. Because all of a sudden you were getting shit looks the entire night from like the entire EA football team.
Oh, it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, that's when you had like the full mane too.
I know it was
like,
full mane.
You had that big fucking like Metallica mane that came down to like the bottom of your back. You know. Always envious of it. Like mine only came to the middle. Like yours was like all the way down to your ass. I know. I was just like, oh shit. Like, I mean, look at us now.
Yeah.
You know.
Fat and bald.
Yeah.
But good.
But like, so like, it was like, even then we were like kind of sticking out because like, you know.
Oh, we weren't like upper crust or anything.
No. I got my fucking feathered mullet going and shit, and they're just like looking at me like, you know. And like the best, the end of the story goes to that football game. Talking shit the entire football game to me. Every single person that was there was just like, yeah, I fucked your girlfriend too. And I'm like, oh, really? How'd my dick taste? You know, I mean, it was shit like that, like all night long, just going back and forth until I broke that motherfucker's arm.
Yeah?
Yeah. I can't remember his name, inside linebacker. We ran, it was the 32 trap. And on a 32 trap, my job as the left tackle, because we were trapping the defensive tackle, so that means the guard on the other side was pulling across the center to take out that guard. The guard next to me kicked out on the defensive end, and I came across and took the middle linebacker that was scraping to fill the hole.
All right.
Okay? I love the 32 trap because I could... Motherfuckers were so stupid they thought they were going to make a tackle and never saw me coming. So I got a free shot every single fucking time and lit motherfuckers up. I love 32 trap. This motherfucker is scraping because he thinks he's going to make a tackle. I put a shoulder into his rib cage and he's going down. And as he's going down, he puts his arm down to like brace himself. And that's when I left my feet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fucking Hogan them.
Yeah, you could hear it snap.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and as he's laying on the ground writhing in pain, I'm like, yeah, who fucked my girlfriend now? You know.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm talking shit to him on the bottom of that pile, like, you motherfucker, I own you.
I think I went to that game.
I think so, yeah.
I think I did.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Because it wasn't played on a Friday, was it?
It was, yeah. It was my senior night. Maybe that's why you were there.
Maybe.
But, like, it was like that thing, like, I told nobody on my team about that except for 2 other guys.
Okay.
Like, there were 2 guys on my team, Tommy Sacco and Mike Bramlett, Tex. I would go to war with these 2 motherfuckers. I have gone to war with these 2 motherfuckers. Like, these were 2 guys that, like, we had games where, like, shit went down and we were walking across the field to take on the entire other team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and my head coach is pulling us back. And it was, like, one of those odd things, like, because, like, shit went, like, there was a game where, like, shit went, like, fucking sideways. And, like, it was like tensions were very, very high at the end of the game. And we're walking across, like, we're going to handle business. The 3 of us.
Yeah.
And the offensive line coach and head coach are pulling at us like, you know, you can't go to, you know, go to the locker room, go to the locker room, go to the locker room. Uncle Ed was at that game. And he was like, I have never been more proud of you than you were walking across that field because I know what you were going over there to do.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, no, this shit won't fly here, you know. So... like, these were 2 guys, like, I told them, fine, here's the story of the EA Prom I went to last year. So, they were the only 2 guys who, like, had my back that entire game. Like, everybody else had no fucking clue what was going on. I wasn't telling them. Like, you ain't my motherfucking friends. We're just teammates.
Yeah.
You know, these 2 guys, though, they'll go to war with me. And, you know, like, when again, like, a fight almost breaks on, and those are the only 2 guys who had my back that entire night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's the way it should be. Everybody else is like, what the fuck is going on? Like, don't worry about it. It's family business. You know?
Yeah.
You know, you won't understand.
Yeah, I was not well liked at EA.
No, this is
I wasn't.
Yeah. After that night, no.
No, it just wasn't. It wasn't just that. I mean, it was just like the band people didn't like me. And
Yeah.
fucking, you know, it was so weird. But I don't know. That's one night in my life that I can remember myself being invincible.
Yeah.
At that fucking event. I wish I would have said it then. I was like, I'm from the port, motherfucker. You don't fuck with McKee's port.
Yeah.
Fucking EA. You don't fuck with the port. Fucking hand your ass, boy.
South Allegheny represent!
Right.
You know?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's just proof that we are brothers.
Yeah.
We just come to each other. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, like that night, like, I was like, I don't know how I ever can repay this. I never told you that. Because it was like...
I appreciate that.
Right, but it's like that was the night I was like, I don't know why the fuck you're here. I don't know how you got here. Thank God you're fucking here.
Yeah, we were fucking Bo and Duke in the fucking General Lee that night, motherfucker. Or fucking Bandit and fucking Snowman. I mean, like, that's just who we were.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and it's such the nerdiest thing I could say, but that's how we identified when we were young.
Oh, yeah.
Luke and Han Solo.
Yeah.
Bo and Duke.
Yeah.
And fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's how we played. I mean,
Bandit and Snowman.
yeah, I mean, that's what we did.
Yeah.
And that was just an example of us.
Yeah.
You know? And that's who we are. So, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
I'm from McKeesport.
All right, so I think we've gone down.
Holy memory lane.
Yeah, indeed. you know. And a lot of people are like, what the fuck is this?
Hey, people out there always have stories like that.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
This is just our story.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's just it's like a fun story that like of a horrible night. Like nothing about that night is like good to me, except for that moment where you like, is there a problem here, guys?
It's so funny. That's kind of unlike me too.
Yeah.
I'm usually laid back and chill. I'm not like a shit stirrer.
I can't even imagine you going, oh shit, there's going to be a fight. I'll be back.
Yeah. I'm going to text her later to find out like what I said.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember.
Yeah.
I know I left her to
I
go.
know. But it was like that odd thing of like, what was good? Like, you had to have been like, oh shit, there's going to be a fight. Oh shit, that's Sean.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Let me get up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Take care of business here.
Yeah. I mean, like, who is this asshole that's about to get his... It's... Fuck, it's my cousin.
It's my fucking brother.
Yeah. I gotta handle this.
And I think we were probably one of the only people outside of that school
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
fucking prom.
Probably, yeah. Like, I knew nobody there except for Kim.
Right.
Like, nobody.
Oh, I didn't know anybody.
Yeah. So...
That might have been my first prom.
Yeah. And like, it's that funny thing. I guess today, like, things are a little bit different where, like, I guess, like, there's a little bit more intercommunication among schools, especially that are close to each other.
Mm.
I mean, the internet does that. Like, hey, I know somebody who grew up here, but they moved over there, and, I know their friends and stuff. Like, things are a little bit different nowadays. But back then, there was none of that.
No.
Like, I even got pissed, like, my senior year. Like, other guys on my team knew other guys from other teams. And they were talking like, yeah, I was talking to so-and-so over at Steel Valley. And like, they don't practice as long as we do. And they do this, that. I'm like, why the fuck are you talking to them?
Yeah.
That's the fucking enemy.
Right.
Like, that was my mentality. Like, I didn't want to know you. You were the nameless, grayless face. Like, I had that mentality before Mike Tomlin ever posed that quote. Like, is there just nameless gray faces? Like, my mentality is, I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, I knew one kid. His name was Joe. I can't remember his last name to save my life right now. But I played Lily football with him in Glassport. Mm-hmm. And he moved away. He moved to Brentwood. And we played Brentwood in a game when I was in junior high. And he lined up across from me. And I didn't say boo to him until after that game.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, hey, Sean, have a good game. I'm like, go fuck yourself. Like,
nice.
like you, I don't give a fuck who you are. You are not my friend right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so, like, I'm sure somebody out there's going to be, like, offended by that. But like, that was my mentality.
Yeah.
Like, you're the enemy. I hate you. I hate everything about you. I want to ruin your life today. You know what I mean? Like, that was my mentality.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, EA became personal. And what's funny is, like, they were destroying us. They were the best team in the division, probably in Double A. I think they wanted to win state that year, or could have. And we were getting our asses handed to us till I broke that guy's arm.
Really?
Yeah. And we ended up rallying back, and we ended up losing by like 4 points.
Mm.
Like, we just ran out of time. But, like, we were getting our asses handed to us. And it was like that thing of, like, I think my team went into shock because, like, I was not the guy who talked shit.
Yeah.
I was not the guy like, I just handled my business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was silent. You know, and I wasn't a guy who fired the team up. I wasn't pounding other people's helmets. But when I was talking shit and when I broke that guy's arm, and I'm talking shit to him while he's on the ground screaming in pain, I think they snapped. They were like, "What the fuck?" You know, and like I just had a look in my eye that game of like, you like this isn't happening. Get your shit together now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was, I guess, the only time like they kind of rallied around me, because like I was just like, no, you know, I am not going out like this.
Yeah, right.
You know, and but it was for personal reasons, not like I wanted to win the game, sure, but you know, I wanted to rub it in each and every one of their fucking noses.
Right.
You know what I mean? Every one of them was talking shit to me. You know, so yeah, I mean, it was a weird situation. Like that game was like one of the weirdest games I ever played because like it was personal.
Right.
Like every other game was just business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's a weird thing to say, and I'm sure people out there don't get that, but like that was like yeah, and like for my team to kind of look at me like, what the fuck is going on with him?
What's wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
Especially when it was so out of character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I even hated guys like that. Like the year before, the senior night the year before, there was this one guy. I can't remember his name at the moment, but Bill. His name was Bill, and you know, it was a tight game, and it was late in the fourth quarter, and he's a senior. And he's going down. He's hitting everybody's shoulder pads and helmet like, you know, let's go. This is my senior night. Let's do this for me. And his hand was coming down to me. I just reached up and snatched it out of the air. I was like, don't you fucking touch me.
Yeah.
Win this game for you, my ass. You know.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck off the other side of the line where you belong. You know, like, that was like me. Like,
yeah.
So, there was shit like that didn't fly with me. Like, I'm not all for that rah-rah bullshit like that. This is business. I'm handling my business. You handle yours. You know?
Nice.
Yeah, so.
All right.
Yeah. And then that was the first, the absolutely hysterical story after that is, so, Kim was at that game, and so was her friend Becky.
Okay.
And after the game, I did not go to parties after games.
Okay.
I went home and went to bed. I was exhausted. And they were like, I'm walking on, and you know, they're my parents, and they're all proud of me. It was my senior night, last game at Gladiator Stadium for me. You know, emotional moment for me because I knew I had one more game after that, and I was done.
Yeah.
You know, and as I'm standing here with my parents, with my girlfriend, with her hot friend, text comes up to me and hey, Cooner, party at my house tonight. I'm expecting you to be there. I'm like, text, I'm not showing up. And my parents are like, oh, is there a party tonight? You should go, Sean. Like my parents.
Yeah.
Like they. And of course, like Texas, like, well, this, nothing spectacular. There's no booze, Mr. and Mrs. Coon. Like, it's okay, like, you know. And Kim's like, why don't you go to parties? Because I'm tired.
Right.
So I ended up having to go to this fucking party. I'm like, fuck me. I don't want to do this. So I go to Texas House, I go to a party. You know, they hand me a Mickey's. I peel off the foil.
Nice.
You know.
Yeah.
I sit down on the couch. Now, immediately, I'm the most popular guy at the party because I'm there with Becky. And
right.
Becky was hot. Like, I'm not going to... Becky was hot. You know.
Yeah.
And every single guy who never talked to me, hey, Sean, how you doing? That was a pretty impressive game you played. Who's this?
Yeah.
You know. So, I reached a
like
point...
an episode of Degrassi.
Yeah. So now I'm sitting on the couch. I'm watching Game 4 of the World Series. And I got a Mickey's sitting on my chest. I fell asleep.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, luckily, this is back in the day where nobody fucked with you.
Yeah.
Because people knew Sean wasn't drunk because I had taken one sip of that fucking beer.
Yeah, yeah.
And my eyes were closed. Like, you know, but everybody was also like, don't fuck with Sean because we want to hook up with Becky.
Right,
you
right,
know?
yeah.
So, but Kim's appalled.
I'm sure.
You know, and I'm driving her home and she's like, I can't believe you don't go to parties. I can't believe you get invited to parties and don't take me. And I can't believe you finally go to a party and you fall the fuck asleep. I'm like, I was fucking tired. I don't know about you.
Right.
But I was fighting for my life for 2 hours.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? Like, so they weren't all in on it.
Right,
So
right.
I'm a little sleepy. Pardon me. You know. So, yeah. So that's the funny after story to that game is I went to a party, fell asleep, and my girlfriend was appalled. Like, you could be popular if you wanted to. I'm like, but I don't.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to break this to you, but I don't. Because it looks exhausting. You know.
Nice. Memories.
Memories. So, after, I mean, that was I don't know how we went from, like, improving security at Kennywood to, like, the EA Prom Incident. You know. But, in actual nerd news,
Okay.
you know, we still don't know if it's going to be a season 4 of the Orville.
What?
We still don't know.
Okay.
Nobody's made any sort of announcement.
Okay.
But apparently, Seth MacFarlane, like somebody asked, like somebody tweeted, like, how many times does the Orville need to trend for the series to be renewed for a season 4 at Seth MacFarlane?
Right.
And Seth MacFarlane replied, the industry is in the midst of a time of upheaval and transition. I wish I could provide a definitive answer to your question. At the moment, all I can say is I remain cautiously optimistic. And this makes a bit of sense. Like, that show cannot be cheap to make.
Right.
You know, and so for Hulu to be footing the bill, or Disney, in all honesty, because they basically own Hulu now,
Right.
to be footing the bill for that, I'm sure it's expensive, and it's not like, to them it's not a flagship property. It's not Star Wars.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, it's Seth MacFarlane's little show that people seem to like. But at the same time, like, it is a very popular show.
Okay.
Like, and it does. It starts to trend on Twitter and stuff. Like, people will start, like, you know, hashtag renew the Orville, and it will trend.
Right.
So that tells you that, you know, and I'm sure they're looking at the streaming numbers. I'm sure it was very good on Hulu, and I know a lot of people have talked about, like, when it transitioned to Disney Plus, like, make sure you rewatch it so that people, that, like, they know that this is a series that people care about. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, because I'm sure Disney's looking at these streaming numbers. But, like, he's right, like, in the sense that, like clearly, like, there is something to, like, what's happening with the streaming industry. Like, it boomed huge. And now that bubble's kind of burst in a lot of ways and is condensing itself. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, how much do you want to spend on a fantastical sci-fi series that, you know, to stream on Hulu? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the reason I went to Hulu is because Fox was like, it is really expensive.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, Fox didn't want to foot that bill. That's why they moved it to Hulu, because it could give MacFarlane time to do it right. Because there was like a 2-year gap between season 2 and season 3.
Right.
Where MacFarlane, like, wrote those scripts and kind of like, the special effects that were involved with it and everything. So like that, there was a lot of time between season 2 and season 3 where like when it was a network TV show, like you can't wait that long, but streaming, we give you that leeway for some ungodly reason. So now, season 3 to season 4, like the landscape has dramatically changed in like what they're willing to pay for.
Right.
Even. Like, like Lord of the Rings series on Amazon, like, that's like the most expensive show ever made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, HBO has the advantage of like, of HBO.
Right.
So like, when they do like House of the Dragons or something like that, like they have like the cable base that they rely on, probably more than the streaming still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's probably a factor in why they can spend as much as they do on a show like that or a show like Last of Us.
Yeah.
Or any of the other shows that they do. But like streaming is like we're seeing it like that there is a HBO Max is cutting original programming. Hulu has. Disney hasn't too much yet.
Right.
But like you can start to expect that axe to fall soon, I would think. I'm sure they're going to be looking at some stuff saying like, okay, yeah, we need to figure some of this out. But, Hulu, like all of them, like original content, like Netflix especially, we talk about all the time, like, if it doesn't do well, like it gets cut, like one season and done. Like I'm hoping like The Night Agent did well this week.
Right.
So that like Netflix is like, okay, we'll do a season 2 because they did leave it open for a season 2.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, and I even made sure like I hashtagged it and everything today. Like, yeah, I binge watched this, talk about it on the pod.
Nice.
So like, because I want to make sure like I'm contributing to the algorithm.
Right.
So like it's stuff like that I get where McFarlane's point is, but at the same time, like I do certainly hope like the higher ups at Hulu and Disney kind of do see the value of the Orville and give us a 4th season because I think that show is just that fucking good. I think you were pleasantly surprised by how good it was.
Oh, it was a great show.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how good it was.
Like I honestly think Paramount is kicking themselves in the ass for not letting him do a Star Trek show.
Right.
Because that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
He loves Star Trek. I mean, it's apparent when you watch the Orville it's a Star Trek show just without the license.
Right.
So it's that funny thing of like, I wonder how much Paramount is kicking themselves in the ass for saying like, you're the guy who did American Dad and Family Guy? Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. We're gonna talk to Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, right.
So it's like it's the odd thing of like of that, but I do think it's a very, very good show, and I think it's something that like Hulu could use as like a flagship in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I honestly do, like, because you don't think of Hulu, I don't think of anything that's like Hulu specific.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like and they do have originals and like even like Letterkenny or Shoresy, but like I don't think of them as like Hulu specific for some reason, even though they are.
You're right. Right.
So hopefully we get something from this. But I mean, I know you were surprised at how good that show was.
Oh,
I think you had very low expectations when you started it.
I did, and it just, man, it was great.
Yeah.
What a great show.
Yeah. So well done. Like,
man.
Stories are fantastic.
Yeah.
There's the occasional clunker, but I mean, for the most part, like, it's good shit.
It's like they kept him at bay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, not him. Like, he kept himself at bay.
Yeah.
It was a great show. I have to say this. And it was not Family Guy.
No.
At all.
No.
There was an occasional blip of his comedy.
Like, especially in the first
It's
season.
his fucking show, man.
Right. Like, especially in the first season, there were, like, a few, like, jokes where you're just like, you know what I mean? Like you can tell, like, he was, like, trying to force it in there. Like, somebody told him, like, yeah, it's got to be funny.
Yeah.
Like, but in the second season, he got away from that. Like, the second season when it really takes off. And it gets away from, like, that trying to be funny, trying to be a comedy and being a straight sci-fi show.
Yeah.
And then in the third season, it's fantastic. So yeah, I mean, I certainly hope it gets picked up. I hope it becomes a even if you just run back for one more season and let him like tell like a completed story.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, because I feel like there is one more season of story in there.
Yeah,
that needs to be told.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
I mean, it was a great show.
Yeah.
It was. It was.
Yeah. And I gave you a list today.
Oh, I know.
Because you complained about, like, man, some of this is, like, cheesy. And like, so I gave you a listing of, like, all the episodes of Star Wars and Clone Wars you have to watch.
Yeah.
Like, these are the good ones. And, like...
Which is all of them.
It's a lot. It is. It's a lot of them. But, like, a lot of them, like... It's like I told you, like, a lot of them, though, like, they fall into, like, these 3-episode arcs.
Yeah.
Where it's, like, telling a story over 3 episodes. So, like... That's kind of how, like, they work it out a lot of times. But there's a lot of it I did leave out. Like, there's a lot of it, like, oh, it's a Jar Jar Binks episode. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, the second I saw, like, Ambassador Jar Jar, I'm like, no, thank you. No, that was a bad episode.
Ambassador Jar Jar.
Yeah. Representative Binks. That was what it was. Representative Binks. And, and Senator Amidala. Go to Rodan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah. So that was there's a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of them that are good, but like I said, it's like it takes 3 episodes to tell one story.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that makes sense. So I'm intrigued. I'll be waiting to hear your feedback on some of that, especially when you get like the ones I highlight. Like these are the best episodes of the show.
Right.
Like. I can't wait till you get to that point. You can tell me what you thought, what your thoughts are, because like that to me was like the Mortis episodes are like they set up everything else, like from like Filoni's viewpoint of the Force and everything. Like it's, I can't wait till you get to this because it's like they're really really good.
Yeah,
like they're real. Like I when you watch those, you'll be like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's how good they are.
Yeah.
And that leads you into, like, some other stuff with, like, the Force and a little bit more of an understanding of Ahsoka and everything. Like, oh, it's so good. So good. So. Anything else you'd like to add to the proceedings there then, sir?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Well, remember, there are a number of different ways you can reach out and touch us. You can send us an email, and an email address is pittsburghnerd@yahoo.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. Very, very easy to find. We are also on Mastodon. If you're on that platform, let me know. I'm tinkering with it. I have no fucking clue what I'm doing with it, but I'm tinkering with it. Also, you can find us on a number of podcasting networks. You can find us on the Tangibound Network, the Weeby Geeks Network, and the Pod Breed Network. Just give them a Google search and you'll find all the other great podcasts they have to offer. And lastly, as always, want to thank you, dear listener, for checking us out each and every week. Be a friend, tell a friend. We can't thank you enough for your support, your patronage, and thank you for enjoying our hijinks and or shenanigans, whichever you prefer.
Okay.
And so on that note, the dreamer has awakened.
Peace.